I'm Dr. Alex Jahangir, Chair of the Nashville COVID-19 Taskforce. I'm speaking to you here from Nashville today to answer some questions about COVID-19 and the vaccines that are currently available. For this conversation, I'm so thrilled to be joined by one of my favorite rock bands, Foreigner, specifically Kelly Hansen, the lead singer of Foreigner, who will be performing right here in Nashville tonight, August 18th at the Ryman Auditorium.
Thank you for having me. And I feel that there are a lot of unaddressed concerns from a lot of the public around vaccinations. I understand and believe that it's everyone's individual choice whether to get vaccinated or not. But I think that if you are aware of and believe and agree with the information that you hear today, that you would want to be vaccinated. Many people are concerned that there hasn't been enough testing on this current vaccine. Can you explain the background for this vaccine?
There are two real major vaccine types that are here in the U.S. There's the mRNA vaccine, and then which are the Pfizer, Moderna, and then there's the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is the one that uses what's called adenovirus as a carrier of the messenger. A normal clinical trial for any vaccine trials about 10,000 people, and once 10,000 people are trialed, they approve the vaccine. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines each had over 30 to 40,000 people initially in the studies. Johnson & Johnson had over 60,000 people around the world in this clinical trials before there was even any approval given. And so now take that and add the millions of people that received this vaccine since the vaccines went on the market. And we now have probably one of the most widely used vaccines that we're collecting data on. So I actually think these vaccines have been studied very thoroughly. And the reason they came to market so quickly is because we had so many smart people focusing their energy on it and so much financial resources provided to make it happen.
Are there any heavy metals or fetal tissue in any of the vaccines?
No. I think there was some misconception, especially with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, that it had fetal tissue in it. And that's actually absolutely not true. There's no metals and there's no fetal tissue in any of these vaccines.
Can you discuss briefly having to convince and or in some cases mandate that people as a group of Americans follow the same protocol and how that conflicts with some people's view that Americans should have freedom to do what they choose to do?
The point of vaccinations, and why I think it's so important to let everyone know this, is right now vaccines are available to almost everyone, but they're still not available to people 12 and under. So I have 3 children under 12, and their safety and their health is dependent on the community in which I live in. And so while freedom of choice is critical, and I'm obviously it's really important for us here in America, freedom of also knowing that your neighbor will keep you safe and take care of you is equally as important to me, and I think important to America.
What is the number one thing that you hear from doctors that people who are unvaccinated are saying when they're in the hospital and they have COVID?
It's regret. It's regret and not necessarily believing the news that was out there beforehand. It's regret of not taking advantage of opportunities they had previously to get vaccinated or not to be in a situation that makes them more at risk of getting infected. And it's regret of possibly not having this quality of life if they get out of their illness afterwards. And by that, I mean, there's a lot of people who've had COVID who have lung problems for a long time, who have weakness for a long time, who have heart problems for a long time. And then finally, I think it's the regret and fear of what happens if they don't make it, and what happens if they don't see their kids and grandkids grow up.
Doctor, thank you so very much for answering some of these questions. I know that these are some of the prominent questions out there that people have. We love our fans. We want everybody to be safe. We are trying to closely follow all protocols at all of our shows. We want to let people know if they want to get vaccinated, they can get vaccinated at our Nashville show. That's a choice for them, and it's completely up to them. But we wanted to help provide answers to some of these questions.
If anyone has any more questions, going to getvaccineanswers.org will give you some great answers, or Vaccines.gov can give you a location where to get vaccinated if you happen to not get it outside of the Ryman Auditorium at the concert. So thank you for you guys' leadership, and I'm so excited you guys are coming to town.
Thank you.